So last time we did a binder update at 558 out of 1025. We are currently on, as you can see, 819 out of 1025. And compared to the last time I made this video, we have made a lot of progress and upgrades. Most importantly, this first page here, if you compare it to what it looked like before, this has come along a massive amount. Let's take a look. We have got the Stellar Crown illustrations. I've tried to set the page up as much as possible to avoid glare where possible, but we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna take a look through, and I've got upgrades to put in as well. So we have the Bulbasaur. We also have the sealed Charmander, which I've managed to get in a sleeve. And of course the Squirtle as well, just to complete the trio, and we did that across a couple of card shows. And then we've got the middle stage evolutions, which are all from 151, and then we get into the EXs. And if we take a look at these, are absolutely beautiful. On the Venusaur, we've got the Scyther, we've got the Vileplume, the Charizard, we've got the Magmar in the background there, as well as Flareon just hiding in the bottom corner. And then for Blastoise, we've got the Gyarados, which wraps all the way around. What a beautiful artwork, and the Vaporeon there in the background as well. And then we picked up a few little smaller bits and bobs, Pidgey, and then that leads into the second page where we've got the Pidgeotto now and the Pidgeot, which we packed on the channel, and then we picked up the Pidgeot at a card show to complete the set. And a lot of the Pokemon now have actually received new cards since, of course, we did the last episode, such as Vulpix now has a beautiful art rare. We even have Spearow being treated to the art rare and illustration rare treatment. And it's just so cool to sort of take my time with the binder and then see all these Pokemon now get the upgrade treatment, and then we can add them to the binder as we go. Another note that we picked up at the Collectorverse card show is Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen doesn't have any illustration rares at the current time, so this kind of 2/3 illustration is the best we can get for the binder. And of course there's empty slots here still. These inserts, by the way, are from a company that I'll leave in the link in the description down below. You can find these on Etsy. A company called Poke Placeholders also make them as well. But yeah, there's loads of different companies that make them. And we're really building up a really beautiful collection, especially in the Kanto era, which is where, especially when I go to card shows, I've managed to put a little bit more time and effort into in terms of finding a few of the cards that I would like, such as this beautiful Ninetales, Nidoking. And of course, we've got a variation of different cards throughout the whole of the binder, because the Vileplume GX, we've got GXs, we've got break cards, we've got all sorts of different cards that you're going to see now throughout the rest of the binder. So we've made a lot of progress here, only 3 more on this area here to make a beautiful double spread. And this is the first page where we can actually go ahead and make an upgrade, because I have got the Arcanine EX. This is the terrestrial form or terraform, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be swapping out the promo here for Arcanine and popping in the new one. Now, of course, Arcanine, I was about to say, it doesn't have any like illustration rares, but it does, but that would be the Hisuian version and not the regular version. In my binder, I have all the regular versions, especially here in the Pokedex, and then I have a second binder, which I'll show you later on, which has regional forms in and everything else, everything that's slightly different to the base form of all the Pokemon. And as I mentioned, we've picked up a few cards that maybe are a bit sort of controversial. I mean, break cards are not that loved, but again, Golduck doesn't have a illustration rare at all, so that's the best we can get for the binder right now. We also picked up the Alakazam. Now this is actually a promo now with the Mega Evolutions, but I picked it up in Japanese ahead of Mega Evolutions coming out in the UK. So we've got the Japanese version there. We also picked up the Machoke and Machamp as well. Really coming along, and it's so nice when you start to see all these illustrations come together. It looks awesome. Let's flick over the page. We then move into this area here where we've got some cards that I absolutely love and I believe are just going to be the final product for this particular Pokemon's entries. For example, the Magnemite. I love this card. I equally love, of course, its evolution as well. And this is the Shinji Kanda, which, by the way, is an illustrator that I am collecting, and you will see some more of their work later on in the video. What an awesome card for Magneton. Beautiful beautiful artwork. Let's chuck that back in there. And then there's other things, as I mentioned, with new sets coming out. Dugong has just received an illustration rare in one of Phantasmal Flames, so we will wait for that to come out and we will grab ourselves a lovely upgrade. Recently, Executor got a illustration rare, or an art rare in this form because it is the Japanese version, and that was in one of the Mega Evolution set. Really cool artwork, just running through the jungle. I love the bold outline and cartoony effect. This, I'm not sure necessarily whether or not it was part of the previous binder tour that I did, but we do have the Coughing from Cosmic Eclipse, and this took us a couple of card shows to find. It's one of my favorite cards in the binder, but there's plenty more to be taken a look at. Just flick over the page. Here we've done a lot of progress and a lot of damage to this area, and we can actually go ahead and get another upgrade in, because the next one we're going to be adding in is this beautiful Jinx Trainer Gallery card, and we're going to be swapping out a reverse holo, which to be fair is from Mega Evolutions, one of the latest sets, but we're going to swap that out and we are going to pop in a new one at 124. Lots of progress done here. Now we also have another card that's going to go in here. We're going to be swapping out the Ditto, and this is the one where it's hiding amongst the fields with the Nummels. We're going to be swapping this one out, and in its place we are going to be adding in this Ditto that I've absolutely fallen in love with. I found it at a card show and it was graded and I'd never seen it before, and then I said to myself, I just need to find it. I found it on Whatnot, someone was selling it, it was on their back wall, and I was like, how much is that? And I needed it immediately, so we picked that one up. And that's going to go in, and to be honest with you, I prefer the artwork of that one anyway, so that one's going to go in that place. Again, if you want to support the channel and you've not even used Whatnot before, I have a helpful video on how to learn what Whatnot is, how to use the app, and if you want to get yourself £10 free credit, you can use the link in the description down below, and I will equally get £10 as well, or whatever value you get, because you can actually get between 10 and 200. It's completely random. Whatever you get, I get, and you can help me and support the channel here as well. Maybe we'll make some more upgrades. Now, fairly recently, of course, at Collectiverse, we picked up the Jolteon VMAX. That's worth pointing out. What a pretty card this is. This was a promo as part of a box set. This card went under my radar for quite some time, but what a beauty. Now, I am collecting Dynamax and Gigantamax cards, again, separately in another binder. For now, this Jolteon will stay in here, but we do want to make some upgrades. Of course, the Vaporeon, Flareon as well. We've managed to pick ourselves up an Aerodactyl V and a Starmie GX at some recent card shows. Lots of Japanese art rares you'll see throughout here. They're a little bit cheaper on Whatnot, and just in general, they tend to be a little bit cheaper than the English versions. Again, I will always try and point this out where possible, because it's a fan favorite of mine, is the Articuno from Journey Together. I pulled this in my first ever ETB. What a beautiful pull, and I was super happy with it. And our legendary birds just keep going and getting better, because we flick over the page. We then move into the realm which I love, probably one of the most satisfying areas. We've got the Zapdos EX, which picked up at Cheltenham card show the second time I went. Got all three birds there in the actual artwork, just soaring above the sky. I love it. If we had like a Lugia at the back as well, that would be just an epic card. I mean, it still is anyway. And then we move into the Team Rocket's Moltres EX that I pulled from my Destined Rivals ETB. What a beautiful artwork this is. And Igawa is just amazing at creating these really detailed, full scenes. They're stunning. Texture on it looks amazing. I was over the moon when I pulled that. Let's pop that one back in there. We picked up the Dragonair fairly recently as well. One of my all-time favorite cards here is the Mew. I absolutely love this card. It just reminds me of being a child. It's so sort of nostalgic to me. And then we've got the Mewtwo as well. Now, this has actually been going up in price quite a bit lately, because of, like everything, it's been going up in price. I do like it, and I would like to potentially, though, upgrade it to something else. So potentially we could put the value of that towards something else. And another card we picked up, well, pulled actually fairly recently, was Cleffa as well. I've been wanting to get this card for a while. It's taken me a little bit of time to pack it, but we eventually did it. And what a beautiful card. So minimal, but the colors, it shines across the card. Super happy with that. And while we're on this double spread, we do have another upgrade, and that is going to be the Ariados. And this is again from Trainer Gallery. I love the Trainer Gallery cards, if you don't know already. And we are going to be swapping out I think this is from Silver Tempest, I believe, but it's just a reverse holo. We'll get this one out there, rare reverse holo, and we'll upgrade it to a trainer gallery card. Huge fan of that one. I'm also a huge fan of the Noctowl artwork as well. Let's then flick over the page. Let's keep going. Let's take a look through the rest of it because we've got more and more upgrades to make. In here, we've got a artist that I've started collecting fairly recently, and the Natu is still here in the binder that I will need to get out at some point, and that is Suka, and they have these beautiful outlined kind of artistic kind of styling, and the Pokemon just pop off. They just, every time I see them, eventually over time, when you start to collect an artist, their artworks just, especially if they are someone that's got a significant style, they just catch your eye immediately, and you know, whoop, that's another one, I need that one. And every time a new set comes out, like Mega Evolutions, I end up taking a look through the list of all the cards and go, right, yeah, there's a Yuka Morii there, there's a So-So artwork, there's a Shinji Kanda, there's a Kamiya, all the different artists that I'm collecting, again, which we will get to later on in the video. We do have another upgrade to this page. We're going to be getting the Yanma upgraded to another art rare as well. Really cool artwork. This is from Destined Rivals in English, I believe. We're going to be swapping out a reverse holo and then upgrading it to the art rare in its place. It's just so fun, these types of episodes, because we can make so much progress in terms of the upgrades. Now, one thing you'll notice here, for example, is the Girafarig. That's a Yuka Morii, and it's actually a sort of side task for me, such as, because I need to go ahead and find a Girafarig to get this Yuka Morii out and then into my Yuka Morii binder. So that is a card that we need to do some work on. Now, there is another upgrade here on this page, and that's going to be Team Rocket's Murkrow. What a beautiful art. I love it when there's a Pokemon and a trainer, and then if there's even more Pokemon in the card, I think it looks great. But in an environment, I'm not 100% sure sometimes on like the full art styles, especially of like Destined Rivals, but this artwork is stunning. And we will be upgrading this one here, which I believe is just a Team Rocket's reverse holo, and we'll be swapping that out and adding in the Murkrow. Now, if you are interested in this binder as well, I can get you 5% off at Poke Protection. This binder here in particular holds 1024, and of course there's 1025 Pokemon, but the company as such since upgraded the binder capacity to over 1200, so you can get yourself 5% off using the link in the description down below, and you can grab one that's going to cover you for potentially Gen 10 as well when that comes out, when we get some new Pokemon. Now, we've got Steelix down here in the bottom left. Now, this is actually the rare from Mega Evolutions as well, and it's fairly new to the binder. It's a really stunning artwork. However, it's another card we're going to be upgrading. Now, we do have this Steelix V, and I bought this a long time ago. It's just waiting until Steelix had an entry, and then I can do like an upgrade episode with it. Now, it is going to go in. However, there is a new one that is in the Mega Evolutions as well, which I think I prefer. I do like that V card, but we will have to see if we can pull it and then upgrade this V to the new one. However, there is another Steelix, and this is a Radiant Steelix. So I'm going to put this to one side because we're going to need this later on in the video, because I have been collecting the Radiant cards as well. So we'll pop that to one side and we'll come back to that. Let's flick over the page then. What do we have next? Now, on this page, there's a bunch of cards that sort of stand out to me. And sometimes, a lot of the time, I look through here and just loads of cards remind me of shows. For example, the Octillery in its shiny form and on a gold card as well. I think it looked absolutely class, and it was like the final pickup of the day. It sent me over budget, but I thought that's a lovely entry. We can grab that for Octillery. Macargo doesn't have an illustration rare, so this is one of those 2/3 again that we recently, or fairly recently, picked up. I think it was at Worcester Card Show. That was a fairly new one. We've got the new Shuckle again in Japanese. A couple of fan favorites on here for me is the Houndoom as well. Love that one, as well as the Skarmory as well. Now, on this next page, we have my most expensive card in the binder, and that is the Ho-Oh, or Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. We pulled it, of course, from Destined Rivals. It's been such a good set to me. One of, if not my favorite card in the binder. It's absolutely beautiful, the colors, the texture. I couldn't have been more happy to pull it. And even in our last episode where we did the last sort of walkthrough of the whole binder, it was one of those cards that I said at the time we would need to get to go alongside the Lugia, and we've since done that in the best possible way. We also recently picked up the Blaziken as well. This was a card that we managed to also pull from Destined Rivals. We had such good luck in the ETB. It was nothing but fire, literally, because we were only picking up like fire Pokemon. It's such a cool card. Not much to say here really, other than the fact we want to get the Wurmple out as well, because that's another artist in the same style that I want to get out of here. We move on to the next page. C-Dot was recently upgraded to like a reverse holo, pretty minor upgrade. One on here though to take a look at though from the latest set is the Mega Gardevoir EX. Now, Megas technically are obviously a sort of variation form for me, so they shouldn't necessarily go in here. However, just for the minute, I'm embracing the Mega Evolutions era completely, and I want to put them in the binder while I've got them, and they're currently the new style, just to keep it fresh, and then we will potentially swap them out into the Mega set. Because in my second binder, which you'll see later, I did have a section for all of the Megas, and they were all the vintage ones. So what I would now like to do is put the vintage with the Megas and just combine to make a Mega binder. So yeah, that's something we will potentially do in the future. Loads of progress, of course, here with new additions. We've got the Ninjas that we picked up recently as well from Mega Evolutions. The Mawile as well. I love this card. I think, again, it's got that kind of, I think it is a trainer gallery, but it is. I was going to say, it definitely has that vibe to it, the texture on it. I think this card's pretty underrated. I guess it's not a Pokemon that's particularly sought after, but for me, when I saw it at the card show for just £10, I thought that was absolutely beautiful. So had to grab that. And that's my favorite part of the card shows at the minute, is finding cards that people don't particularly have too much interest in, and then finding them, and I have a use for them because they go into the Pokedex binder. Having a huge challenge like this that goes over, you know, eras, and you know, not just doing a master set of like a set, for example, it just covers everything. You've got so many options. In fact, if anything, too many options at times. In here, we've got another Mega, which we picked up, the Mega Camerupt, and that is just a regular EX. A couple of new, well, I don't actually think we've done too much here other than the Electrike, to be honest. So we will skip past this page and move on to the next one. Only one card needed here. Little shout out to this page though. This Sphere was the card I needed to get my first ever full page. So that one unlocked the achievement for the first full page of the Pokedex binder. Since then, we've done double spreads. We're doing a lot of progress. So we've even completed a whole generation, which is coming up shortly. Of course, you'll be able to see over here, we've got another Mega EX full art, and that is the Absol. I think these artworks are absolutely beautiful, especially on just the regular like full arts. I know, of course, everybody wants an SIR, of course we do, but I think the artwork on this alone is so cool. The Megas, I think they've done very well. They look fantastic. I'm a big fan. Tropius, you know, we've got loads of illustration rares through here. Not much has changed in terms of like these two have been here before. These two were equally here the last time, and likewise the Duskull and Dusknoir, because the Duskull and Dusclops, because we're not necessarily going to end up changing them too often because there's no cards that have come out that are better. So, you know, these are just sort of staples now of the binder, to be honest. And the James Turner artwork is not something you get to see very often. So we've got those, and the Dusk Noir as well, which comes up later on in the binder. However, we do get another upgrade here. We're going to be swapping out the Snorunt, and very cold, cave-like. They did a very good sort of style on this one to make it look so chilly. And we are going to be adding in, again, another art rare, of course, but a very cool one. I love the sort of blue tones contrasting against the warm tones as well of the actual Pokemon itself. And that's going to be going in at 361, although it is a little bit snug, but we got there in the end. There we go. Another upgrade. So fun to do those as we go. Let's flick over the page then. We then move into an area that I definitely want to give some more love to. And we do have a Mega Latias. Of course, that will come out at some point for just a regular Latias. But the Regis, I'd like to give some more love to. Of course, Kyogre and Groudon. Let me know in the comments down below, are you Kyogre or Groudon? Because I'm a Kyogre for sure. We've got a Rayquaza VMAX. Again, I'd like to upgrade that at some point as well. There's a rumor that Jirachi's got an illustration rare coming out. Who knows? We'll have to try and see if we can find that. as and when, if and when it comes out, but loads of upgrades to happen. That's what I do with this binder if you're new to it, is as I open packs, we upgrade cards just like we're doing in today's episode, upgrading cards to art rares, illustration rares, special illustration rares, and so on, until this binder becomes the, you know, the ultimate version of itself that it can be. And with new sets coming out all the time, there's always new content that can be added to it, which is very fun. Let's flick over the page then. We then move into a little bit of a kind of sort of empty space. The Honchkrow V. This is a very cool card. I love the artwork on this one as well. Again, something that maybe just goes under the radar a little bit, not sort of sought after too much, but you've got all the Murkrows there in the background as well, just underneath on the lower branches. I think it looks awesome. A sleepy Pokemon, if you are that type of person that collects sleepy Pokemon, that's quite a popular binder choice at the minute. Let's flick over the page. We then have a couple of cards that we've seen previously, but still worth pointing out. We packed the Cynthia's Garchomp gold card. I think this is awesome. I know gold cards don't get a lot of love, but you should love whatever you like. And I am buzzing with that one. I think it's a beautiful card to go in the binder. And because we packed it, you know, who knows, maybe we could upgrade it to something else later on and put it towards it, and then it's just nothing but profit. We also have the So-So artwork for Bronzor as well. So-So is an artist that I love. Every time I see a card in a pack and as I'm flicking through, I just notice it straight away. It's just an artist and their style. It's just so, I can spot it. It's so unique. It's so beautiful. We've got the Riolu, and I'll grab the phone for this one because Riolu, we've got the promo. We've also got the EX that we picked up, well, packed, in fact. And you see that kind of glass effect almost here where you can see the rest of his body underneath the attack, which is very cool. And we picked up the Weavile as well at Collectorverse. Love this card. Again, it's not actually a trainer gallery, but it's definitely got trainer gallery vibes to it. Very cool artwork. On the next page, I don't think we've done much here as well either. I'd like to get a Leafeon. I still can't believe I've not got a Glaceon. Just an area that's not really sort of had too many cards unless we get to this point onwards. Now, I do want to show you some cards that you may have even seen before. However, if you are, this is your first time seeing the Pokedex binder, then we've obviously got the Cresselia. I love this artwork. It's a stunning artwork. So sort of majestic. I'm not even sure if it's flying through like interdimensions or something, but very cool artwork. Nonetheless, we'll slide that one back in there. Now down here is where we get to Gen 5 from Victini. We've got the Victini as well, and this was from the collection box from Black Bolt White Flare. I've got another one of these as well, so we've got a couple. Perhaps if they go up in value, then maybe we just flog it. Again, if you are new to the series, I do not care about the value of cards at all. If it gets to the point where it's worth so much, it will go, and then it can fund the rest of the project and buy me even more cards to the binder as a whole. If we flick over, Gen 5, you will now start to see has no gaps because we finished it. We completed the whole of it. We finished it at Collectorverse card show. We only needed 5 more cards and we picked up every single one of them. I'll leave a link to that bio POV at the end. However, because Black Bolt White Flare has so many illustration rares, we've got loads of options for some upgrades. And the first one is Pack Rat. We're going to be swapping out a Pokeball and we're going to be popping in the art rare in its place. We'll pop that one to the side. And then we've got 2 on this page still. We've got the Swoobat again. This is a Shibuzo artwork, another artist that I'm collecting. It's got that lovely kind of pencil outline effect. This one almost looks like it's got like an actual gold outline. And that Swoobat is going to be going down here. Again, we're going to be swapping out a Pokeball and we're going to be popping in the art rare in its place. And we also have its evolution. We've got the Swoobat. Sorry, I might have been calling Woobat Swoobat. We've got the Swoobat now, and look, you can see the little hearts that they're beaming to each other, like their partners. Very cool, and it's awesome to actually be completing a evolution line as well with illustration rares or art rares. I'd like the whole binder to sort of somewhat look like that towards the end. Mashana is another card that we picked up at Collectorverse. It was one of the 5 we needed. We've got a couple of So-So artworks here as well to be looking at. I really want to get the Embor evolution. I mean, obviously everything I want to upgrade at some point, but the Embor illustration rare is absolutely beautiful. Let's flick over the page. We've got more upgrades to be making, one of which is, well, the 2 fighting stance Pokemon. We've got Thor and we've got Sork as well. People don't like these cards. I think they look amazing, especially the Sork card. That artwork is so cool, just like up on the rocks, you know, above the water. Anyway, I'm happy with them, so we're going to be popping in some upgrades. So let's slide out a common out of there and pop in the new one at 539, and then let's get 538 out. My favorite upgrades are the ones where they tend to have like trickle upgrades to them. So like we go from a common to an uncommon to a rare and so on. But jumping from a common to an illustration rare is still extremely satisfying. So that looks awesome. We've got another one though to be going in, and that is the Scoliopede. And again, fantastic artwork. I pick a lot of these up again on Whatnot, pretty much like for a couple of £1 each every single time. Just wait until someone doesn't really want them and then I grab them for the binder, because you know we've got lots to be doing here. I've actually packed the Swadloon in a previous pack episode. So yeah, a couple of natural sort of pickups and then a lot of Whatnot ones in there as well. Let's flick over the page. We then have the Trubbish, and that is going to be getting the upgrade treatment. We're going to be going from a reverse holo. Let's slide that out the way. And let's pop in, again, you guessed it, another art rare. This whole set is so cool with the fact that they have so many art rares and illustration rares. There's so much to be like collecting, especially these two. These two's illustration rares look absolutely brilliant. Escavalier. Let's grab this one. Why are we grabbing this one? Because it's going to be getting an upgrade. Fantastic artwork on this by Dom. The artwork is just absolutely brilliant, but we do have another upgrade, of course, to be adding in, and equally a very cool artwork for it underneath the kind of red moon. So we'll pop that one in there. And don't you think it's satisfying to not see a single gap in the whole generation? It's so pleasing to look at. One thing people say to me all the time is, like, for example here, why don't you take the white inserts out when it's done? I'll take them out when all of them are completely done probably, or I'll start to maybe do them bit by bit. I keep them in just for the moment, and then eventually I'll find a purpose for them for another project potentially afterwards. Let's flick the page over then, and let's see what our next upgrade is. It's the Galvantula. So again, picked up quite a few of the kind of art rares in here. I love the fact that the web almost looks like it's electric at the same time, which is very cool little detail there. So we'll pop out a grass version and we'll pop in the art rare in its place. We then go down a row and we're going to be popping out the Clink, which is just a reverse holo, and we're going to be popping in the art rare as well. Very cool artwork to this. Let's pop that in here. Now I do have the Kling Klang Yuka Morii illustration rare from Black Bolt White Flare, but it made it straight into my Yuka Morii binder instead. So yeah, I preferred it being in there. Now we do have another one, this time in English, and that is the Behem, and that is the illustration rare. And of course, that's going to be an upgrade all the way from a common all the way up to the illustration rare. I cannot wait until the whole of this generation is completely sort of illustration rared out, completely full. The Dynamo we did actually pack ourselves as well, which is a nice card to find. I actually wanted that as one of my preferred artworks as well from the set, so that was awesome. And the Bear Tick, which I said wrong in the entire video while I was at Collectorverse, is the card that we also needed, which I thought we were going to struggle to find. Let's flick over the page. We get towards these sort of latter stages of the generation. We then have the Braviary. Love this artwork. That's a card that we managed to pack as well. Heatmore was another one that we needed to pick up at Collectorverse. Larvesta, we've actually packed twice now with this exact same illustration, which is very sad, but either way, I can maybe give that away to someone at some point. And Genesect EX Full Art is another card that we needed at the show. We've got both promos from the Black Bolt White Flare ETBs because we actually managed to get lucky and find both of them. Although the White Flare one I found much later than I did the Black Bolt. I just could not find it anywhere at all. A couple more over here to finish up this kind of double spread, but Genesect then splits Gen 5 and 6. Let's move into here. We've got a Radiant Greninja, which I need to get out of here. If you're not sure of the gradients, or haven't, a Radiant should I say, and you haven't seen them before, they've just got shiny forms and then this beautiful kind of square diamond-like sort of hollow to them. I think they're really cool and I want to collect all of them. There's a few more that I need, so we will just keep this one in here for a minute. We do need another Greninja in order to go in here to get this one out. So that's kind of how the constant flow of things works. Not too many other cards necessarily to point out on here, to be honest with you. I mean, the Malmar is a favorite of mine. I do like this card. It just looks so menacing and dark, and like you've met them in a very dark gym almost. Very cool artwork on that one. Let's flick over the page. We're getting towards the latter stages. We're at the 718 mark now. We've got Dedenne, and that is a very cool artwork. This is one of the trainer gallery cards, of course. And I love how the shine is just like the whole rainbow in the background, and usually, again, through the eyes, they look fantastic. So let's pop that in here. Again, Sylveon is probably another one of the evolutions that we'll try and do some justice to at some point. I'm not super sort of, you know, over the top with the evolutions, should I say. You know, we'll get to them when we get to them. However, there is a card that we can get to right now, and it's a stunner. It is the So-So artwork for Noibat. What a beautiful card this is. Like, the artwork is just amazing. Coming down through the cave, lighting up the ears on the top there. And we're going to be swapping out a Kamiya. So artist preference, you know, two artists, sorry, that I absolutely love, and swapping positions in the binder. Let's pop that one in here. Another artist, or artwork should I say, that's worth pointing out is this one here as well, the Diancie. Very cool, just glistening. Again, this is Galarian Gallery, this one. What a beautiful card. We've then flicked over the page. There's not too much here in terms of upgrades compared to last time. We've got a few illustration rares. I'm trying my best to sort out the glare, by the way, above your head there. But Decidueye GX is a fairly new pickup as well. I love the GX cards. I love the fact that like some of it is still the print, and then the holo sits in all of the little gaps around it, shines all the way through the background and again through the eyes. They look so cool. So we'll be popping that one back in there. That was a pickup from Cardiff Card Show. I've been to probably about 7 or 8 card shows this year, and they've been so much fun. And it's also awesome to meet all of you as well, the people that watch and enjoy the series. Here we've got a couple of upgrades that we did recently. The Passimian, which is a trainer gallery card, very cool. Alongside Comfy as well, which is a Galarian gallery card. And other than that, again, not too many sort of upgrades here, to be honest with you. It's all determined a lot of the time by the packs that we open, unless I source out a particular Pokemon at a card show. So yeah, not too much luck on here. We get to a generation and a page that will be potentially quite dusty towards the end of this series, because I don't like the Ultra Beast that much. Now, we did pick up the Solgaleo or Solgaleo, I apparently say it wrong every single time, another GX, very, very cool. But as for the rest of them, you know, Lunala potentially gets away with it. This lot down here, this lot can go in the bin. Likewise, these two as well. Marshadow is a complete exception, very cool card. This one's getting a lot of attention with investors at the minute because you've got the Pikachu at the bottom and it's shadow casting onto Marshadow as well. Very cool card. This Meltan, I love this artwork. Just jumping up at the sparks, it looks so cool. And then we get to Reboot, which is going to be getting an upgrade. Look at this. For a fire Pokemon to be in like a snowy situation, I think that's an ultimate combination. I think that looks awesome. So we're going to be swapping out a Reboot, and that is going to be a common. We'll pop in the new one in its place. Now, that's not necessarily the end either, because although we do have its evolution, which is Cinderace, it is a VMAX and a Dynamax, which I would prefer in this particular instance, because we've got a rare holo in its place. I prefer to put this to one side and put it with my Dynamax collection as well. So we'll pop that to one side and we will come back to it. So yes, this section here, I will have to complete at some point. I will have to buy them. And so we will work out a way, or a card show, which we can pick these up at. But for now, they can stay a little bit unloved. Let's move on. We do have an upgrade on here. We need to grab out the Thievul, and we are going to be swapping out a rare holo. Let's pop that to one side. Again, we've got a Japanese art rare to be going in its place. I love this sort of just red, black and white kind of toning to this. Very, very cool. Nice choice of just limiting the colors. Inteleon and Drizzle, managed to pick them up as well recently in the mega sets when we've been opening packs. And as for that, we don't have that many. Tutel though is maybe something that's fairly new since the last binder tour, which is the Baby Shiny. and it doesn't have any illustration rares or anything. So I thought, well, why don't we get the baby shiny to go alongside it? And that's why I love the binder so much, because we've got art rares and illustration rares and special illustration rares, yes, but you've also got break cards, you've got terror cards, you've got baby shinies, you've got V cards, you've got GXs. It all comes together, and commons have a place, uncommons until they're obviously upgraded, but everything can count towards this binder. It's such a fun goal and like objective to have that crosses over multiple eras as well in Pokemon. Now in here we do have, of course, a couple of cards that kind of go against what I just said, but at the time we didn't have a card for it, where we've got the Toxtricity, VMAX, we've got the Grimmsnarl, we've got the Hatterene, which to be fair we packed, and the Stonejourner. So we do have quite a few of those, and they're like mini objectives for me to find a better Stonejourner, Hatterene, and get them out. By the way, look how much glow, you can already see it on camera. This Frostmoth is getting as well, again, a trainer gallery. I just think they're so underrated, they don't get enough love. And also, I'm a fan of the yellow borders. What I'm not a fan of necessarily is a chunky one on one side and a thin one on the other. But listen, I'm not grading cards anytime soon, so we've got one objective, and that is the binder. Got a super cute Q-Fan as well at the bottom down here. What a beautiful little card that is. Probably the final version of Q-Fan as well for me in terms of the binder, unless they bring out, again, another illustration rare at some point. Let's flick over the page then. We're getting towards the back now, we're in the 800s. We packed the Zamazenta, we already had it in Japanese, and then we packed it in English in Destined Rivals. Again, that's part of that fire kind of ETB. The Eternatus is a fairly new one as well. Almost gives like, oh, it does give training gallery, because it is a training gallery. You've got the trainer there in the bottom left. I was going to say, it definitely has that vibe to it. And you can see quite a few cards that I actually like the aesthetic of. So let's carry on. I do need a Zacian to go alongside the Zamazenta, because Zacian's actually my favorite out of the two of them as well. Over here, we've made some progress as well. We've still got the Meowscarada EX with the gold card, because we pulled that. And we do have a Radiant Sneasler as well, which we do want to get out of there. Take a look at the Craxley, or Craxley down here in the bottom right. That's part of the evolution line, and if we flick it over, we've got an illustration as it continues to grow up, and we picked up the Quaquaval EX at Bristol Card Show. It was one of my hunted cards for the day. Lots of shine to it. It's very cool to have the full illustration line as well. So yeah, very pleased for that to be fully upgraded in the binder. Here we only need one more card, and that's Bellybolt, so we can definitely find one of those fairly soon at a card show. And we do have an upgrade here. It is the Garganackle, and we're going to be adding in this artwork. I've never seen this artist before, but the art on it is very cool. Someone's got this repeating pattern style throughout the whole of it. So let's get that one out of there, and that is a rare holo that's going to be coming out, and we'll pop in the new one here as we go. So we're making a lot of progress, especially towards the back. I guess it's because of recent generations of Pokemon. They were printed a lot more recently, so there's a lot more progress back here. So we're going to keep flicking through. We make our way through to a double spread of the binder. We've got a few very cool cards on here. I particularly love the Toad School, is it? The artwork on here, very cool. Fast, dynamic, colourful, fantastic. Very cool to look at, very pleasing to the eye. Another card I think is particularly pleasing to the eye is the Titan as well. That kind of flat illustration style. Very, very cool. From there, let's go ahead and just jump over that page. Let's jump towards the back. Oh no, we can't actually, because we need a Houndstone illustration upgrade. So that is going to be going in here. So we're going to be swapping out the promo we had in here. Very nice little sort of swirl down here as well in the corner. I'll put that to one side, and we will upgrade the Houndstone in here. There is a beautiful graveyard card that we need to get in here at some point as well. So let's keep our fingers crossed we can find that at some point. We then get to an era back here, which is probably one of my favorites of the entire binder, and that is like the future and ancient cards. They look amazing, and we've done a lot of progress back here. Lots of beautiful cards. Let's just start up here. We've got the King Gambit promo. Very cool artwork on that. Look at the illustration, stunning. Let's move away from that one. Fluttermane is another card I absolutely love. This dark environment, is that like a Giratina or something in the background maybe? Shooting a fireball, burning this town down, who knows? Let's pop that in there as well. We then have the Iron Hands SAR, so the secret art rare, or special art rare, I can't remember which one it is. Look at the line work, the embossing, the glisten, it's so cool. very, very happy with that. And here we've then got the Iron Valiant that we picked up as well at Collectorverse, and in there you'll just about be able to see you've got the Iron Thorns, the Iron Moss back there, and all the different forms, Delibird down there. And then we've got the Miraidon as well that we picked up fairly recently, another promo, which is absolutely awesome. We've then got the Wuchen as well. We picked this up at SCD down in Plymouth. Very cool secret art rare. Well, that's the special illustration rare technically. We've then got the, is it Tinglu? And that is the secret art rare or special art rare, I can't remember which one it is. Very cool, lots of detail on that one. And recently we picked up as well the Baxcalibur, and that is the Kamiya artwork, and they did the whole line as well. So we can pick up the other ones as well at a future card show, as and when we get around to it. But this Iron Valiant, again, I just want to show you one more time how cool it is. The fact that the other Pokemon are in there, the textures in there, I just think it's such a cool card. There is another Iron Valiant, which is just amazing. It's like front facing, dark and purple, but still, it looks so good to have that one in there. And then we get to the final page where we've got the, is it the Raikou ancient form? Is it? I can't remember its ancient name now off the top of my head, but picked this up only for a couple of pounds. Very cool artwork. And we need, of course, one extra one up here at some point, which is 1025. However, I do have plans to upgrade this binder when we can get the 1200 capacity one. Let's move to the second binder because we've got even more upgrades to be adding in, and we've got more binders to see. So a lot smaller of a binder. I'll crop in for you there anyway. You can see I had all the megas and these were all the original forms, but I never managed to actually sort of get around to it because the price was going up so much and I wanted to focus on the Pokedex binder that this area here hasn't had any attention really. Over time though, I'd like to get all the old ones, such as this one here, and then pop in the new ones with them as well, which I think would look really cool. So Megas is still a project that I want to work on. It's just finding the time and finances necessarily to do all of the things I want to do. We then get into the Alolan region where we do have a new card to go in, and that is going to be the Alolan Doug Trio. So we're going to pop that one in there. It's a very, very cool, like bold outline effect. And again, this is where the regional forms live. So we've got the Alolan Vulpix that we picked up a long time ago now. If we carry on going through, we've then got the Hisuian versions. We've got multiple versions now of Samurott. We've got the Hisuian Arcanine, of course. Arcanine and Growlithe being my favorite Pokemon. I've got both of those, but sadly they don't make it into the full binder. Let's flick over. We then move into the Galarian versions. There's some stunning cards in here, especially the Rapidash. Let's flick over a couple times. Paldean. We then go into the era of the Gigantamax, where we've got loads of cards to be adding in here. Now, there's Gigantamax and there's Dynamax, etc. Now, of course, earlier on I showed you the Cinderace, VMAX, Dynamax. I'm going to pop this one up here for the minute, and then there is a slightly more bloated version of that one. We've got Flying Pikachu, EV sealed still promo. That's nicely sealed away. Let's flick over here. We've got some more towards the back. Some, I think one of which is like Korean or something, or Chinese, and I didn't even realize at the time. Let's keep going. We then get into Terraform. So basically I packed this one and I thought, well, maybe I can keep hold of it and then put together like a whole Terra section potentially. I have got some of the EX Terras there. We then get into the Radiant section where we can go ahead and add in, of course, this Steelix that we saw earlier on. That can go in here. So we've got a full spread of them now. I pulled the Charizard and the rest of them we picked up at some card shows. Now, the rest of this is just showing you then how I go about sort of organizing things. I've got a gold energy. I do have a trainer here that you can see of Lieutenant Surge from one of the latest Mega episodes, and the Giovanni's Charisma as well. So that's where all my supporter cards go. We've then got some full arts that I've picked up and just upgraded potentially in the binder, so they need a space to live. We've got some V cards in here. We've then got Growlithe and Arcanine, which I've slowly started to collect and pick up all of them hopefully at some point, being my favorite Pokemon. I've got GXs here, then some of the vintage cards that again have been upgraded in the binder. So they're all here in organization, and then I will do something with them as and when I start to pick up more and more. We've then got some like full arts and illustrations in here, followed by some Japanese versions on the right hand side. So we've got Wartortle and the Zamazenta. These are basically all dupes and don't really have a purpose right now. EXs and some like promos that I've found and again upgraded, and on the very back there is some sealed different stamped cards, as well as a random Japanese camera. Okay, so this is my third binder, and as you can see, this is my illustrator binder, which starts off with Yuka Morii. These are clay models, and as I mentioned, there's a few cards in here we've picked up fairly recently. This one being the Kling Klang Yuka Morii. It's cool that it gets an illustration rare or art rare. So we've filled out the front page basically with cards that I think are just my favorites. We've got a Master Ball Durant here, because Durant has a Pokeball, Master Ball, Reverse Holo, and regular form. So that's like an epic challenge for me to try and get all of them. This Venusaur and what is it? Snivy has gone up in price quite a bit since I picked it up. I picked it up for 35. I think it's going for around about 70 now. And I keep an eye on these things, but not with the intention of necessarily, you know, selling just for like a smaller bit of profit. If it went up to like 200, as I said, 200, 300 pounds, absolutely I'll get rid of it. Anyway, we move then into the fire section, where I do have a new card to be going in, and that is the Darumaka. That's going to be going in at the top there. So my fire collection, we've got Litwick now with the regular, reverse, and the Halloween stamp. So we've got quite a few in there. We're then going to flick through. We've got the water section, which I don't have any new cards for. What I'm slowly trying to do is every time I complete a card, regular, reverse holo, follow that pattern all the way through, I'll move in the Japanese ones a little bit further back as we go. I don't think this format of types is going to be able to last much longer, because there's slowly more and more getting added. I actually somewhat need to put them in order of release and try and pick them up and set up a whole binder just to pick up every single one of them potentially. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's flick over the page. We've got Murkrow, and we've got Murkrow in a few different forms there, regular, reverse, and Japanese as well. There's nothing to add here. And we've got a new card going here in the fighting section, and that is Knuckle. And I'm just going to pop that one up there next to Shuckle. Again, we've got some good progress on here in this particular section. Let's flick over the page. We then get into the the electric, and we are going to be completing Pincurchin, because we've got the regular version now going alongside the reverse holo. And then we get a double whammy, because I picked these up on Whatnot before I'd even opened a pack of Mega, and that's the Helio Tile, and we've got it in the regular and the reverse holo. So they go in there, and that checks that off. It's so fun to just say, right, that's completely done. Let's work on the rest of them. If we flick over the page, we then see the metal section, the normal Shazay as well. Psychic, we've got one card to go in here, and that is the Gothita. That's going to go in down here. Now Pumpkaboo, if I just grab this one out, it's been sort of turned into an epic challenge for me, because Pumpkaboo has about 7 different forms. I've only got 2 of them, so we need to go ahead and find as many as we can of that. That's a really cool sort of side quest. Let's move over then. We've got the normal cards here, and then we move into the grass, which I've got loads of. And this is probably going to be one of my favorite Yuka Morii cards of the binder. It's just a Pokemon Go, it's just a reverse holo, but let's take a look in the bottom left-hand corner there underneath Yuka Morii. That's a little ditto sign. This card in particular, if you peel it, there's a ditto underneath, and it's one of like a very unique kind of card that they've never really done before. So having that peel off and knowing that that is a ditto, I think is one of the coolest cards in this Yuka Morii binder. So that's going to go down there next to the regular form. We've then got Cacnea in its regular form, which can go alongside its reverse holo. So we're checking off quite a few here. I've got more grass types to go in. Let's add in the Execute and Grubbin. They can go in just down here for a moment. Pop them in there. We've got another grass type to go in. It's the final grass type, and that is the Fungus. Very cool. Let's pop that one in there. And the sort of grass types have got so popular that I've now got another page where I've separated the Japanese versions as well. Which, by the way, look how cool this is. Spinarak, which we saw earlier, has modern version and a vintage version as well. So there's a couple of Pokemon like that, such as C-Dot as well. Let's flick past Yuka Morii then, because there's more artists in here that I collect. This has changed since last time I did this. We've then got the Shibuzo artworks, which again have the very cool kind of like stipply kind of pencil-like outline to them. They stand out. I've got the Stuffle now from Mega, and we packed both of those, the regular and the reverse holo. Still need to rearrange this section at some point. They stand out to me so much. We've then got the Asako Ito collection, and we've got a few more to go in here. we've got the Sandygast, and these are crochet models, and that is going to be going in alongside its regular form. So that's a reverse holo. Look how cool this little Litwick is. Again, crochet model, that one can go down here next to Swirlix. We then got cast form. Again, all in that kind of like same kind of setup, same sort of scene. And my favorite, to be honest, so far that I found for Ito is the Zubat. That looks so cool. And that's going to be going in the top right, all the way over here. Let's just flick through then to finish off, because we've got no more upgrades. We are going to be looking at the Suka artworks, and then again they have the just a bold white outline to them. We have completed Baneri again from Mega Evolutions, so I don't tend to source these out too much. I just grab them, and then as and when I pack them, I'll just put them in here so they can build up towards another collection. We flick over again, another artist that I absolutely love is So-So, and these artworks are stunning. Like, they've just got like such a dreamy look to them, lots of colors, lots of hues and different changes in there. They look beautiful, and we've got quite a few. I managed to pick up quite a few more at SCD fairly recently. Let's flick over here. We then move into the Kamiya artworks again, regular, reverse, where possible. Beautiful, beautiful artworks. We've got some really nice vintage ones over here as well, especially this dark Omanite as well. Look how cool that looks. And then if we move to the very back, we've then got the Shinji Kanda collection. Again, regular, reverse. The Kecleon is still one of my favorites, but there is a new contender, and that is the Sandshrew, which is in the Pokedex binder as well in the reverse holo version. What a beautiful artwork for Sandshrew. So that is the latest with the Pokedex binder series, the weekly challenge here on my channel. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes of the Pokedex binder series. Drop a like, drop a comment, hit the join button, whatever you want to do to show your support, and I'll see you in the next one.